surprisingly sunny December Sunday in Blackpool, or near to Blackpool. I'm here with John Taylor, who's invited us down. He's got this unusual Calibra here, which was built in the 90s and was on the cover of Redline magazine in 1997. This car's got quite a story at it, so we'll get a look at that just now. So this is John, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us down here. So this Calibra's got quite a big story to it. How long have you had it for?
I only bought it in May of this year. I wasn't looking for a Calibra. I didn't know what I wanted. I've had Vectra Bs, V6s all my driving years. So I was in a rut, didn't know what I wanted to have. Then I came here one night, just happened to be calling round.
Yeah, we're at Rebuild Customs, or Rebuild Custom.
Yeah, so I walked in and my mate Jay says...
He's in the back there, yeah, that's his Nova, that white one sitting there.
He says, have I got something you'd be interested in? So I said, go on then. He went, Calibra. So I'm like, yeah, V6. I went, I'll have that, because I like the V6s. He said, but hang on, he said, it was built by Courtenay Sport. I'll have that. And there was another lad who sorted the deal out. He was there and he'd seen it 2.5 years previous when he was doing the guy's driveway, and he was told a price. So I was like, right, I'll have that. So I said, get me the guy's number, see if he's still got it and what he wants for it. So I thought there was nothing going to happen, and then 2 days later I get a message. He's still got it, he wants this much now. So I said, right.
So was the car in a garage at this place where the guy was doing the work, or was it out in a driveway? I'm guessing it was garaged by the look of it.
16 years parts in the garage. It was parts up in 2005 that the research that we found. It was also painted this colour in 2005. Not sure when, but I know it was off the road December 2005 from the MOTs. So anyway, so I phoned the guy and I said, I'm ringing about the Calibra. He says, yeah. Well, what can you tell me about it? It's a V6 built by Courtenay Sport.
This was built by Courtenay Sport twin sometime in the 90s.
Yeah, late 90s. I think we figured it between 97 and 2000.
Right, so, I mean, when you talk about V6 Calibras, obviously they made them from the factory, but this wasn't originally a V6 Calibra. This was, or is, a 16 valve 4x4.
As far as I'm aware, that's what it originated.
Well, we can tell if it's a 4x4 if it's got the hump in the
yeah.
the footwell on the other side of it. Is it 4-wheel drive?
It's 4-wheel drive.
Ah, so that is unusual, because when we were just talking about a Cavalier GSI the other day about V6 converted Cavaliers, not known another one of them, but this is a V6 converted Calibra, which, as you will probably know, has the same running gear. It's identical under the skin to a Cavalier GSI or a Turbo. The Calibra, you managed to do a deal on it then and get it bought?
Yeah, I bought it blind.
Did you know it was as customised as this? Did you just think you were getting a V6 Calibra?
No, all he could tell me was it was a V6 converted by Courtenay Sport, and it's got some fancy wheels on it.
Not knowing it was actually 4-wheel drive?
Didn't know it was 4-wheel drive. I didn't know anything about it. Like I said, I bought it blind.
Oh, so that's interesting. I know the V6 engine, I had to go and get a converter because of the pulses coming off the 6-cylinder engine. Yep. It would cause the 4-wheel drive ECU to cut out because it was getting confused. So I've got this little box that converts the signal back into a 4-cylinder, so it keeps the 4-wheel drive ECU running. I know a lot of people have gone down the route of locked boxes with them, but you're saying this one has the original 4-wheel drive system on it as well.
Yeah, I'll put the bonnet in a minute.
That's even more interesting and unusual. I wonder what approach they've gone to go and do that. I mean, obviously this car was featured in Redline and it was in other magazines back in the day as well.
Autocar, for when Courtenay Sport did the first conversion on it from non-turbo to turbo. I think they reached 300 brake horsepower on that one. And then Redline when they did this conversion to the V6 4x4.
Interesting. So what engine's in it? Is it a 2.5 litre V6?
It's an X25 XE.
It's a Vectra engine?
Yes, but with other goodies.
Stuff done to it as well,
yes.
Yeah. Do you have a full specification list of it, or is it still like
it's only specifications I know is what's in the Redline feature. We was actually due to schedule a call with John from Courtenay Sport, but that's never transpired at the moment, but it will.
I guess they've probably got records somewhere. It won't have been thrown out.
There's no records. From what we gather, it was Chris Courtenay's.
It was that far back.
Yeah.
It was still Chris Courtenay.
It was Chris Courtenay's car,
right?
Originally, from what I've
that is going back. That's back to, yeah. I suppose if you're going back, if it was 1997, yeah, you're going nearly 25 years now. I forget that. I get mixed up. I forget that the time's moved on that far.
Yeah.
I forget that I'm 41, nearly 42. I still, in my brain, I'm still like 25.
I'm not too far off you yet.
Yeah, let's get the bonnet popped and get a look under this, because there aren't too many V6 four-wheel drive conversions about. Well, on account of 2 at the moment that I know of that exist, this and mine, and also that there's a Cavalier Turbo with a Saab engine in it.
I do know of another Calibra V6 4x4.
Interesting.
It was featured on another channel.
Oh, no. If you look in here, hopefully you can see this. If I lift that up, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. There's a white ring on the four-wheel drive accumulator bulb. Now that white ring was part of a recall because the original ones were considered to be faulty, and that recall took place in the 90s. So that is a really old accumulator bulb, and it dates the car. How long it's been parked up quite well. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't run the four-wheel drive system with that, because it's probably, the seals in it are probably a bit ready to go. But you can see here, this is a bit different to mine, because this has maintained the induction pipe. There's a fan in here that blows cold air to the starter motor and alternator at the back, because there's not a lot of space for it. Mine doesn't have that because I've got an air conditioning unit here, and also this has got the decorative engine cover on it, which mine doesn't have because I've got Vectra metal cam covers on it, which for some reason I don't think I could fit that, and I've sold it to somebody.
The oil caps in
that's what it is, oil caps in a different position.
A lot of people cut the holes here.
Right, I think I sold it to somebody that wanted it.
I mean, they fetch good money then now.
Yeah. The same, I sold 2 sets of metal cam covers as well just the other day. They went for a lot of money.
Yeah, they do.
So what do we know has been done under the bonnet of it?
So I know it's got, I think it's gas flowed heads. It's got reprofile cams. I think it's a light and flywheel.
What gear is it? The 6-speed gearbox that's in it?
Yeah, F28. Yeah.
That'll be at least the F28 flywheel, which is basically a lightened flywheel for one of a V6. It's less than half the weight. If it's lightened again, that'd be really interesting to see how that picks up. Because mine goes off the mark.
Yeah.
You can run it 600 RPM, just a bit like from idle, in 6 gear it will go.
I mean, in a minute we'll check the specs in the feature that we've got. And I know they've modified the ECU. Don't know how.
Well, that's interesting as well, because I was talking about that in my video, where I would like to find out if you can get the ECU fine-tuned to everything that's been done to it, because that'll be a lost art as well from back in the day when you were actually doing physical chips and fitting them into ECUs.
Yeah, it used to be super chip back in the day, didn't it? And the other thing is the Courtenay Sport panel filter and a drilled airbox.
Oh, that's good. You want to keep the original airbox on them. A lot of people put K&N cone filters on them, and they just don't work as well, even though they make a hell of a racket. But
yeah, they suffer from heat soak.
Yeah, because there's no space under that engine bay. So obviously there are issues that you've got to deal with in terms of the cooling. Because it was an engine that was rammed in under that engine bay later on in the car's lifespan. This car has a massive set of brakes on it. These are like proper rotors on it, like aftermarket jobs. What are they?
From the spec sheet I've got in there, it's got Chrysler calipers, Corvette pads, and I can't remember the size of the discs, but that's all written down. And I think they're equal front and back as well.
What size are the wheels? 18s?
18s.
Oh, they're quite...
Courtenay Sport, compromoted MO6s.
The wheels will be worth a fortune on their own, I would think.
Well,
Anymore.
I was offered more than I paid for the car within an hour of posting a picture of it on the back of a recovery truck.
Yeah, they're quite substantial, those brakes, and obviously those wheels are super rare as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can even get them anymore.
They're a special order.
This little piece of paper here, is this?
This is what we found in the car relating to the brakes.
I suppose because it might be a bit of a challenge to go and order replacement ones if you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Like bolt-on rotors, so you reckon 323s. I reckon so, like, they're not getting 16-inch wheels on
No,
that.
no, definitely
They're 17s at a minimum. What else is in this folder file here?
This is the auto car feature from when it was a turbo.
Is this like, what, top car? So is this like an off-spin of auto car, was it at the time?
I'm not sure.
I've never seen a copy of top car before. I remember that. I definitely remember that. That was in That was in maybe a fast car issue, Power and Style or something. I remember this.
So you're telling me it's in 3 magazines then?
I don't know. I've definitely seen that in something
I'd love to
before.
find another set of them wheels, the Courtenay Sport wheels.
Oh, definitely. Courtenay, so this is when it's turbocharged?
Yeah, this is when they turboed the 2 litre.
Because of course, with being a 4-wheel drive, naturally aspirated, at the time C20 engines were hard to come by because it was a brand new car, which was really expensive. So at the time, Courtenay were doing quite a good trade in turbocharging the naturally aspirated C20XE rig top engine, and they did quite a few of these. The car's been 3 colours.
Yeah.
So it's now currently in this chroma flare sort of colour changing paint, and if you go to the back here you'll notice as well that the rear wings have been extended up to go and meet the line of this spoiler which goes round the back here, which has been really nicely done. That's like a seamless blend that goes right the way up there, which is interesting. It's because Calibras it's a car they are cars that have been heavily customised, not always with the greatest of success, but that works. You can see that it's of the era, but then again there's a lot of nostalgia for that now, you know, with the Max Power reunion and everything that's for these cars.
One of the lads was trying to get me to that.
Not many customised cars actually survive. They lead kind of hard lives and end up getting thrown away, and a lot of them aren't built to last either.
No. I mean, I'll show you the different paints. So we've got the original white.
Yep, there's the white in the boot lid there.
Which is from its first magazine feature.
Yep.
And then we go to the under the bonnet. We have this colour.
Yeah, that's like Caribbean blue.
Which is from its Redline feature.
Right.
And then it's got
one
for your feature.
Was it chroma flare, I guess?
I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know what you'd call that, but it's you're not really seeing it now at the moment. When the sun hits it, it turns orange and bronze and gold as well, and it's something kind of green and purple at the moment, which is obviously, that was a big thing round the sort of early noughties as well, this fancy paint. But it looks like it, obviously with it being garaged, it looks like it survived so well. On the inside we've got a set of Lockwood dials which were once white, and they've obviously gone the way that Lockwood dials go, gone kind of yellow. We've got, you can tell the difference with this one because it's still got the analogue clock with it being the early model, and you can see there it's got the hump in the passenger floor which accommodates the 4-wheel drive, and that steering wheel is pretty rare as well, I would think. An Indianapolis Cosmo. How much did you reckon they're worth? They go for.
I found some on eBay for between $250 and $350.
Bloody hell! A nice steering wheel. It does look.
It's nice.
Similar to the Calibra's original pre-airbag wheel as well. And we've got these perforated leather wingback seats which John's just installed into the car as well, which are a nice upgrade over the Calibra ones. You see, once upon a time it would have been the Calibra Courtenay leather retrim on it. It's got this green sort of ribbed leather in it as well, and well, there's a lot of green in the interior. That's been the colour of choice. Oh look, it's got the Courtenay floor mats as well. Look at them, it's like genuine 4-wheel drive ones that go around the hump in the floor. They're nice. But I'm guessing the green, you know when the green was added to it?
That was the Redline feature.
Redline feature, so.
Yeah.
Right, John's going to start this. I'm interested to hear what it sounds like, because mine makes quite a racket, and it kind of whirs and moans under the bonnet. Thinking about it. That sounds good. Quieter than mine. Smells good.
Yeah. I mean, before I even tried to start it, I've done all the belts, the oils, even the diff oil, everything's been done before I even turned the key for the first time.
Yeah, you definitely want to, with that four-wheel, with the V6 engine, you know, you don't want to mess about with the belt in one of them, because if that goes, it's carnage.
Yeah.
They're not that bad to do, especially on
Well,
these.
this is actually the first one I've done, and I've had Vectra V6s all my driving years, and I've never been brave enough.
Yeah, they're alright, once you've done one, you're fine with them. They're a bit daunting to look at to begin with, because there's that many pulleys on it, having 4 camshafts. They're alright. What's the plans for it then? It's got an MOT on it now?
Yeah, it's got fresh MOT on it, flew straight through. Just get it to some shows next year, hopefully, as long as they go ahead.
Yeah, I bloody hope so, aye.
I missed out on them all this year, so...
Yeah, it'd be good to see it. I would imagine you'll get a lot of interest in it as well, because people will remember this car from back in the day.
Yeah, I've had quite a few people saying they remember it.
It'd be good if you can get it out as well, because then you'll probably be able to piece together more of the history of it by speaking to people that don't remember it. Because they're saying about being that old, but you know, sort of the modern incarnation of Courtenay Sport. Back when it was obviously built when it was Courtenay Turbo, so they wouldn't have the records on it, but somebody will know. Somebody will know about this. If anybody knows, hit us up in the comments if you remember this car or know anything about it, because we're interested to find as much information as we possibly can. Awesome. That low winter sun is just crazy. It's just totally blinding us at some points. But that's good. That's roll on 2022, eh?
Yeah.
Getting that accumulator pulled.
Is that what that was?
No, just a bit of wheel spin off it. Just because the 4-wheel drive's not connected up. Obviously you won't get that when you've got it connected. It's just going to go. It's greasy today anyway, so
yeah, it's still pulling the rust off the discs.
mine does that. You've got to start it twice. First time you turn it off the key, sometimes it won't go, and it goes straight away second time.
That's
every
all right,
time.
so it's normal.
Aye.
That's
Well, normal enough, aye, for one of these things.